Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and what a marvellous idea for a puzzle we're looking at today. So this is by Pie Guy. We've done a couple of puzzles by Pie Guy before. I'm always reminded of Simon's crossword pseudonym Pieman from Simple Simon Met a Pieman, I think. And I always wondered in the early days if Pie Guy was Simon in disguise. I'm pretty sure it's not, especially as Pie Guy wrote to us to mention this puzzle. It's not very recent, but it's been on the Discord server and it's been attracting some attention recently, and I'm very glad it's been brought to our attention because it's got a fantastic concept within it. We will get there in a moment and you will love the concept. First of all, let me tell you about Patreon, where in 2 days' time we have the fantastic new puzzle hunt by Blobs. We're really looking forward to bringing that to you. Do join us in time for that. And once you've joined us, you have time to look at my crossword solve, which is up there, and Simon's attempt at Fistomafel's Skyscraper, which is brilliant. It's great fun. Do check out all the content we put on Patreon because it's just marvellous stuff. Now, so is our merchandise, so is Sven's SUDOKU PAD. They're all on the links under the video, along with all of our apps, which include various forms of line Sudoku, but nothing quite like this puzzle. And this is the first link under the video. And I'm going to do the rules now. So it's called synesthesia, which is a linking, I think, of particularly, well, of all sorts of things, but things across various senses. But I think it particularly links colours and numbers with, links numbers and letters with colours. I used to have a lecturer who told us that she'd always assumed that 4 was purple and that everybody saw it that way, and been very surprised to discover at some point during her teens that that was individual to her. Anyway, let's look at the rules here. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Now, neighbouring digits along the blue line must differ by at least, you've guessed it, 2. Neighbouring digits along the pink line must differ by at least 3. Neighbouring digits along the orange line must differ by at least 4, the normal Dutch whisper orange. Neighbouring digits along the green line must differ by at least 5, that's the normal German whisper rule. Neighbouring digits along the yellow line by 6, and neighbouring digits along the red line by 7. You won't need to glance back at the rules because you can just look at the grid numbers depicted and work out what the differences have to be. It's a brilliant idea. Now, there are 2 ways in which I know that Pie Guy is American and therefore clearly not Simon. One is the spelling of synesthesia, which has 1 A less than I would have given it. And the spelling of neighbouring, actually, which has a U less than I would have given it. But I also think somebody British would probably have chosen the snooker colours for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as 6 different snooker balls have those values. But happily for us as Sudoku solvers, Pie Guy has chosen 4 to be the Dutch whisper sign and 5 to be the German whisper, green. And I do remember a puzzle where we were globe-trotting and there was definitely other countries involved in different whispers, so maybe we should assume that blue is, where shall we say, Kosovo for the blue. Pink, there's not many pink flags actually in the world. Yellow might be, I don't know, Colombia, Ukraine. Red might be almost anywhere, China, Russia. Pink, whose flag's got pink on? I can't think of any. Anyway, we will try the puzzle rather than speculating on flags, synesthesia, numbers, colours, whatever. Let's get cracking. So 7 is the biggest difference and therefore the most helpful, I presume. The only digits we could possibly put on these cells are 1, 2, 8 and 9. I'm going to allege that based on the fact the only 2 differences of 7 or more are between 1, 8, 2, 9 and 1, 9. So it's tempting to say that cell sees them all, so it can't be any of 1, 2, 8, 9, but that is not a reasonable conclusion. That digit can be the same as that, So these don't have to be a set of the 4 digits 1 to 9. Now on the 6, I think in much the same way, we can't put 3, 4 or 5 on them. So we're selecting, no, Mark. We can't put 4, 5 or 6 on them. So we're selecting from 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9 there. And then as we go to the other numbers, it gets a little bit less powerful, the constraint. Once we get to the 2, it's completely less powerful. Yeah, interesting. I don't really know how to go about this, if I'm honest. Okay, I'm just briefly going to think, what if these were selected from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? That would be impossible. That's slightly interesting, I think. You couldn't make these 3 cells from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because the only pair within those digits that can form a genuine Dutch whisper pair are 3, 7. There isn't another pair. So although one of these pairs could be 3, 7, the other digit couldn't be there. So the 4th digit from 1, 2, 8, 9, apart from those 3, must be in these cells. However, the fact that there is that 3, 7 pair means they could be on one end or another, and I can't necessarily say that this central digit is from 1, 2, 8, 9. I can suspect it is, and I do. Here's a thought that is worth thinking. If we were, I have been resisting colouring these digits in high and low, partly because high and low means different things for the different numbers, and partly because there doesn't seem to be much read across. However, let's colour the 6 as not high and low, but one colour and another colour, because we must alternate between highs and lows. That means that these 3, I mean, I've got it the wrong way around, haven't I? Bother. That's how we would colour them for alternation of high and low, and that's only 2 of them in this side. Oh, no, well, that wasn't what I was hoping for, or indeed thinking I was seeing. Here we have those 3 in one colour. No, I don't know. I don't think the alternation colouring is really all that helpful. Is this about... 4 by Sudoku can't go there, so it's in one of these cells since it can't be on these. The number 4. So that's in one of these. Also, well, that could be a 4. Actually, that could be a 4 too. 4 can't go on this 5 where its 2 neighbours can see each other, but there are only 2 such cells on this 5 where that's the case. So 4 could go in any of those. As long as 9's always its neighbour, it's fine. So 5 obviously can't go in those, and it can't go on the green line. So 5's in one of those cells. Then 5's in one of those, and now 5 has to be on this 3 somewhere because all those are ruled out by Sudoku, given that there's a 5 here. So 5 is on this 3, and its neighbours are from 1, 2, 8 and 9. Interesting, but not very powerful. Once we get down to the 3 and the 2, these differences aren't as helpful as they feel like when you don't. 5 and 4 are now in that group of cells. Oh, this C, we worked out that one of these has to be from 1, 2, 8, 9, and the other 3 are there. So this can't be from 1, 2, 8, 9, and now it can't be from 4 or 5. So that is 3, 6, or 7 in the corner. This is tricky. This is tricky. That's 1, 2, 8 or 9. So this also is from 3, 4, 6 or 7. It sees that same, sorry, I don't know that it's here. One of these is from 1, 2, 8, 9. Now, if it was an end one that's from 1, 2, 8, 9. Here's another. Oh, my other thought didn't work. I was about to say this has to be 5. Okay, what I was going to say is, if one of these end bits is the 1, 2, 8 or 9 on here, then the other pair, which are not from 1, 2, 8, 9, have to be a 3, 7 pair. And that means that's a 6 and that's a 4 and this is a 5. But 1, 2, 8, 9 doesn't have to be in one of those positions. It could easily be here. And then it could be surrounded by, if it was a 1, it could be surrounded easily by 6 and 7. Even if it was a 2, it could be. And it could have, oh yes, this was my point. We could have a 5 in one of those cells. We can't actually have a 5 here, because that would be surrounded by 1 and 9 and would break this group. But we can have a 5 in one of those cells. I have a feeling 5 on this number is probably going to matter a bit, but I can't quite work out how. Now, 5 could be here with an 8 or a 9. 4 could be here with 7, 8 or 9. Or even with 1, actually. Oh, bother. One, 2, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm not really seeing how to do this yet. This doesn't need digits from 1 to the third purple is what I'm thinking. No, I don't know. I suppose these two are 1 green and 1 purple if I assume purple includes the digits. Well, if I assume that low includes the digits 1 to 4 and high includes 6 to 9, each of these pairs is 1 green and 1 purple. So is that pair. Have we got a sort of 5 X-wing? Not really. I mean, 5's in one of those cells. Yeah, okay, where's 5 in this row? It's not there because of that 5. It's not on this green line. It's not there because of that 5. It's not on either of those lines. So 5 in row 6 is in one of those 2 cells. Is that any use? If 5 was there, there'd have to be a 5 here, and there'd have to be a 5 actually specifically there. If 5 is here, then one of those 2 is a 5. That's just less helpful. Okay, maybe I just haven't thought enough about this 7 thing. Right, 2 and 8 can't be next to each other. This digit cannot be 2 or 8. That's the point, because then it would be next, if it was 2, these would be 8 and 9, and 2 would be next to 8. And if it was 8, these would be 1 and 2, and 8 would be next to 2. So that digit is an extreme digit. Now, I don't think that applies to this, as that could be a repeat of this one. But that is slightly interesting. Yeah, these 2 are a pair of the same polarity, and that is the other extreme digit. So the one digit from 1, 2, 8, 9 that goes on this thing is a 2 or an 8. Now, if that goes here, let's say it's a 2, then its partners, they could be, or they will be 6 and 7. Say that was a 2, that's a 1, and that's 8, 9. The 2's partners are 6 and 7. And then again we go 3, 4, 5. And if 8 was here, its part, we'd have 9 here and 1, 2 here, and 8's partners would be 3 and 4. And if alternatively 8 or 2 was on one end or the other pair along here would be 3, 7. Ah, this is the point. Now that 1 and 9 must be in this group, 5 can't appear anywhere here, and we get 5 there. There's my first digit, finally. Now, does that help with 5s somewhere else? Yes, it puts 5 in one of those two cells, and it puts 5 here in row 6. And now one of these two is 5, so we've definitely got a 5 on the 2 shape and on the 3 shape. And here it goes with either 1, 2, 8 or 9. So we've got to fit 4 and 6 into this column. Nah, that's not interesting. Oh, and 5, yeah, no, this is right. If 5's here, no, it can be a parity changer. It doesn't have to have cells of a polarity changer. Doesn't have to have cells of the same polarity there. Okay, maybe I should think about what 5 is keeping away. So 5 can't be with 6, 4, 3 or 7 here. 4 obviously, I suppose. I don't know. I don't think I'm getting very far with that. Now, here we've got a 2 or an 8. If it's there, 2 or 8, then that's a 3, 7, and these have to be 6 and 4 in the corners. If the 2 or 8 is here, these other cells have to be 3, 7. Oh no, if it's here, that's what I'm saying. So if it's here, I was just repeating myself quickly, but if this was 2 or 8, we've got a 1, 2, 8, 9 triple, say it was 2, then these are 7 and 6. And then we have 3 there and 4 there. But if it's 8, these are 3 and 4. And then this is a 6, 7 pair. So something got eliminated there. I'm not sure what it was. It's either 3 there and 4 there, or they're a 6, 7 pair. I think this one can't be a 3 in the corner is what happens there. Yeah, these corners are either a 3, 4 pair or a 6, 7 pair. Weirdly, I feel like I'm actually getting a bit close to a breakthrough, but I'm not there yet. Got a couple of digits though. I was proud of that. This is not an easy puzzle to be getting on with. Now, there is a third purple, so this could be 5 and a third purple. Yeah, I don't know, that's not telling me anything. 5, 8. Come on. Keep some focus, Mark. That could be 2 or 8. It doesn't have to be 1 or 9. It's the same polarity as this one. But if that was an extreme 1 or 9, then this could be a 2 or an 8. Oh, maybe that is the point here. On this circle on the 6, do we have to avoid 3 and 7? I think we do. What would 7 be next to? 7 is only allowed to be next to 1. Yeah, we can't have 3 and 7 on that wheel because 3 would be touching something within 6. That is a 1, 2, 8, 9 quad. I just didn't see that coming at all. So that digit is in one of these 3 cells. I'm going to give it a little colour just in case that propagates anywhere. I don't think it will immediately. But this 1, 2, 8, 9 triple, now that's 1 each of those digits. Another one is up here. That's 3 of them. Oh, I really feel like I'm on the verge of saying that this has to be 3 or 7. But I can't quite make that claim yet. This can't be a 1-9 pair because of that digit. So whatever that is in one of those and one of these cells. Also, we've used up 3 of 1, 2, 8, 9 in both of those rows, which seems to, it feels like it has some ramification for this green line. This is interesting, but I'm struggling to break through. I should have spotted this circle. It's the fact that it's joined up that makes it different from that one. And this, there's no 5 there, so these alternate in polarity, don't they? Yes, they do, but that's not quite enough information. If that was a 3-7 pair, this would be from 1, 2, 8, 9. No, that's not getting anything done. Let's look up here again. 4 and 6 to place in this column. 5 on, I don't think the 2 shape is any use. That just keeps 4 and 6 off those cells. That's not anything. And there's no 5 here, but there is a 5 here. So doesn't stop one of these being 6, unfortunately, as long as it was kept away from the 5. If that was a 4, this would be 8 or 9. 5. This would be a 6-7 pair, and that would be 3. This can't be a 4, surely. Its partners would be 8 and 9. And what would go this side? Yeah, that can't be a 4, because you'd need 8 and 9 there, and that's too many of them. So 4 in this column is either there or there. So this is either 8 or 9. Or if 4's there, that's a 3. This is a 6-7 pair. And then this has to be 1 or 2. So I think I've now concluded that this digit is 1, 2, 8 or 9. If it was 6 or 7, it would need a 1, 2 pair there. And if it was 7, one of those could be 3, and that could be 6, and that could be 4. Oh, okay, no, I haven't quite. I thought I had there. That's really weird. 4 is there or there. If 4 is there, doesn't that have to be 3 then? It does, actually. Then 6, 7 have to be kept apart by 1, 2, 8 or 9. I think this did. I don't know why I can't work this out the other way. This digit has to be 1, 2, 8 or 9. If not, say that was a 6. No, it couldn't be a 6. Say it was a 7 and they were from 1, 2, 3. Then you'd have 6 here and 4 there, but that is not something that I've allowed for when I've been thinking about this before. Okay, I can't make this conclusion. I want that to be 1, 2, 8 or 9, but I don't think it would necessarily even help. So I've spent a long time on that for not much gain. Okay, let's have a think about these digits. These are quite extreme. That one might be a bit less extreme, might be 3 or 7. These two, do they need an extreme digit? I mean, they definitely don't. But they can't be a 3-7 pair, so actually they do need a more extreme digit. They need something from 1, 2, 8, 9. Oh, that must be the same about this pair as well. They can't be 3, 7. So they do need the 4th extreme digit from 1, 2, 8, 9 in that row, and so do these. And therefore this is from 3, 4, 6 or 7, and so is this. And these two can't be from 1, 2, 8, 9 at all. And therefore the 1, 2, 8, 9 quad in this box is in those cells. To my astonishment, these are from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One of these is each from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's obviously not 5. And these cells can't be 6 or 4 because their neighbours see each other. So one of them is a 3 or a 7. And that one is sitting next to, if it's a 3, it's sitting next to the two extremer digits, 8 and 9, or 7 sitting next to 1 and 2. So the other digit over here is not, well no, again it must be from 3 or 7. Because we've used up the 1, 2, 8, 9s. No, we haven't. Yes, we have. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Whichever one of these is 3 or 7 is using up the two counterparts here. And then the remaining digit over this side is not from 1, 2, 8, 9. But it could be from 3, 7, 4 or 6. Well, it can't be from 3, 7, oddly. Right, I mean, this is very hard to see now, but I am seeing it. So let's say we had the green 3 or 7 there. I'm just positing that. Then these would be from 1, 2, 8, 9. And this would also be green, but it couldn't be 3 or 7. So it would have to be the other green digit, which would be 4 or 6, because again, we've used up the 4, 1, 2, 8, 9s in each of those rows between those cells. And the same would apply if that was the green down here. Now, that means these include one of 3, 7 and one of 4, 6, and that forms a quad, a virtual quad with those two. And these digits are from 1, 2, 5, 8, 9, which forms a quintuple with those. That one can't be a 5. And these are only from 3, 4, 6, 7. Along with this, I don't know what I'm proving. I feel like I'm not advancing at all, but I am nonetheless gaining a little bit of understanding about the puzzle. Now, I'm going to colour this one in yellow and bright blue. I don't know which colour is which, obviously, between high and low, or indeed between green and purple. But we do know that in one of these colours we've got a representative of 3, 7 and 4, 6. So in fact these two are the same yellow or blue, whichever it is. Because these two will have the same 3, 4 and 6, 7 from one of the colours. And they'll also have two of the extreme digits. No, two of the extreme digits from 1289. Yeah, one of these digits is 3 or 7. Now I think this has become impossible. Let's say it was this that was a 3. That has to be a 9-8 pair. That has to be 4. Well, one of these has to be 4. So we've got 3, 4, 8, 9 there. That's 6, 7. And then this group is 1, 2, 5 in that case. And this pair are from the same polarity, which feels to me like it means this pair have to be from the same polarity, which they cannot be. So now I've confused myself utterly. Yeah, I've definitely misunderstood the nature of this 5. That's really interesting. Right, I'm going back a few stages to here. Now, no, let's even take out that 3, 4, 6, 7. So, what I got fixated on, and I think I must have been wrong in some way, is that one of these cells is a 3 or a 7. Okay, here's the deal this time. Let's think about it correctly. One of those is purple and one of them is green. They're different polarities. And there's 2 purples and 2 greens there. That's 3 of each. So there's only 1 remaining purple and 1 remaining green in 1, 2, 8, 9 here. Now, I think now that means that 3 and 7 cannot be in these cells where they would need to see 2 of the same extreme digits in the same colour. And I was wrong to think that one of them was 3 or 7. But, again, these pairs must have one of 1, 2, 8 or 9 in. Okay, I've got it now. The 1, 2, 8, 9 that are within this group, one of them there and one of them there, they have to actually be next to each other on the line. Well, they have to be in cells, well, they have to be here and here very specifically. So they can be next to each other, and the other 2 digits on the line which can't be from there don't have to touch each other. And they can be here. I don't know whether they are, they could be from 4 or 6. These digits, which also can't be 5, also can't be from 1, 2, 8, 9. That is now a 3, 4, 6, 7 quad, and that's right this time. Down here we have 2 digits from 1, 2, 8, 9 and 1 that is 5, and the 2 from 1, 2, 8, 9 now can be different polarities, which is essential so that these 2 can be different polarities too, which is essential so those can be. Okay, so that pair, look, they see an 8, so they include 9. So there's no 9 down here, and there is a 9 there, and there's no 9 here, and therefore this cell is a 1, and we know about the polarity on the 7 line. That 1 is surrounded by 8 and 9. Now, does that come up here? We need a 2 up here, but it could go 2, 7, 3 one way or the other, leaving 6, 4, or 2 could be in the middle of 6, 7. Bother, bother, bother. Right, but anyway, we've got a 1 there, so there's no 1 here. So there's a 2 in those cells and not here. Now that's a 1, 8, 9 triple, so this digit is a 2. That one is the 9. This one is not 6 or 7, and this one is not 3 or 4. It's also not 6, actually. That is 7 now. This one can still be 3 or 4, and this one is 8 or 9. And neither of those is a 7 anymore. And none of these is a 2. So this is now a 9-2 pair. And that is an 8. And that's a 9. And that frees this up to be anything, but it stops this from being free. That's an 8 with a 3 on the line. Here we go, finally onto something in this puzzle. 15829. Well, let's hope it continues. There's no 9 there. That's a 2-8 pair, and that's a 1-9 pair. Right, 2 or 8 here, and a 6 difference to here. So we can rule out the 3-7, and now look, it's looking at 8 and 9. So that's 1 and 2, and we suddenly know the polarity of purple, which is low. So I can write in 2 and 1 there, 9 and 8 there. This has to be a 1 by Sudoku, that's a 2. And now I've got some go forward. This digit is a 3. This is not an 8. My goodness, this has taken me a long time, but it is remarkably clever. You have to acknowledge that. 2918. I don't know what they are. Okay, but I need an 8 there. I've got a sort of 5x, that's no good. 8, 4, 6, 5. I need a 3 in one of those cells. There must be more done here. Come on, 5, 5. There's no 1 or 2 in those cells. And there's no 9. That is a definite 5-8 pair. Interesting. So, the 5 is touching... Oh, well, it can be 9 or 1 or 2. These blooming 3 diagonals, 3 lines. Not so helpful. But that is a 5-8 pair. That's quite weird. So 8 and 8. There's an 8 in one of those cells. And there's a 1 in one of those two. Might help, even with a 3 difference, to rule out extreme digits from being on the line. But not much. Well, the 5 now. There's one of these is a 5 touching another digit, which can only now be 9 or 2. But I don't know which one it is, so I don't know how to pencil mark that. The 8 can be touching anything that isn't 6, 7, 8 or 9. Well, all right. I think these are selected from 2, 3 or 9. Because the 8 can't be touching a 4, obviously, and it can't be touching a 5 or a 1. So those digits include, well, do they include 9? Not necessarily, actually. That's weird. They are selected from 2, 3 and 9, though. Now, this is 3, 6 or 7. Have we done more here? This can't be a 2, and there is a 2 in this column, so it's in one of these cells. On a line with either 6 or 7. Now, that means that this can't be a 6, 7 pair. What does that mean? It means it's either a 4, 3 pair or a 6, 4 pair, I think. Let's just try and put a 7 here. This would be 2, 6. But which of those could touch 3 or 4 there? Neither of them. So that can't be a 7. 5, 9, 1, 8, 2. So this is from 3, 4, 6 or 7. Well, hang on. There are digits that can't touch here, and they definitely include 6. 6 can't be touched there. So that is 2 or 7. If it's 7, that can be 3 and that can be 2. Then you have 6 here and 4 here. If that's 2, this is a 6, 7 pair, and you still have... So am I saying this can't be a 4 now? Yes, that is too close to both 2 and 7. So the only place for 4 in the column is at the top. That's taken me an awful long time to work out. Now there's a 4 in one of those two cells. I mean, if only this 2 digit was any use at all, that might be interesting. As it is, not so much. Now, 3 is either there or there. I don't know, this could still go either way. Now, this digit, It's either 6 or more, or 3 or less. That leaves quite a lot of possibilities. Oh, goodness. 81529. These are from 3, 4, 6, 7. 8, 4, 6. Come on, I want something interesting to break forward. That is 6 or 7. That's not uninteresting. And this one is a naked single. It sees 8, 3, 5, 1, 2, 9 and a 4, 6 pair. That is a 7, so that fixes this as 6 and that as 4. That takes 4 out of those cells. This one of these is definitely a 4. That's probably not going to do a lot. 6 there takes 6 out of those cells. And no. Yes, 6 in this box must be in one of those two. That's a 4, 6 pair, and that's not a 6. That's 3 or 7 now. So one of these is a 6, and therefore this isn't a 7 in between them both. That's a 2. And that's not a 2, and this isn't a 3. They're a 6, 7 pair, and this is 3 in the corner, proving its position finally. This is a 7. They're not. I'm just going to get rid of that yellow colouring and indeed the corner marks. Okay, so looking up here, 7, 3, 5, 6, 4, 8 and a 1. Right, these two are now selected from 1, 2, 9, and they form a quad of 1, 2, 3, 9, making this a 6, 7 pair in the box. 2 in the row. Oh, it could be there or here. 2 on this orange line. This is at least 6. That's all I know from that. It's pretty hard. That can't be a 2 by Sudoku, nor can that, funnily enough. So this is either a 3-8 pair or a 9-5 pair now. If it was 9-5, that would be 1, that would be 8, that would be 2, that would be 3. In fact, one of these is a definite 3 now. And one of those is a 3. One of these two's a 2. That's unlikely to be helpful. 8, 3, 5, 6, 1. 7 and 4 are also in these cells. 5, 8, 1, 2, 9. Looking up the column. Oh, these are from 3, 4, 7. So this one... 7 is ruled out. That's too close to both of those possibilities. So this is 3 or 4, and then I think 5 is ruled out of here. So even this 3 line's doing some good for me. That's 8, that's 5, this is now 3. That one's obviously not 3, but it can be 2 or 9, annoyingly. 5, 8, this one can be 3 or 4. We need a 5 in row 3. That's there. That's not an 8 now. Has anything else suddenly happened? 3 or 4 there, and then a 3 line. This can't be 1, so we've got to go up from 3 or 4 to at least 6, and it can't be 6. So that is 7 or 9. Now, what's going on in this column? Anything? Not quite, as far as I can see there. It is intriguing how these constraints work with each other, really is. 4, 2, 9, 5, 3, 9, 2, 8. We've got 1 and 5 there. We've got a 5 there. 8, 4, 6, 7, 5, 3. Oh yes, 3 is placed in box 1. There we go. And one of these two is a 3. And what about on the Dutch Whisper? That means this is low, and it can't be 2, 4 or 5 or 3. Good Lord, that's a 1. Yeah, it is. Just checking that. I'm very confident about that. One of these is a 1. Now that 1 looking across doesn't do anything. I already knew one of those was a 1. 4, 1, 5, 2. So 8 in the box is there though. That's what the 1 does. It fills a cell. 4, 5, 8, 1, 3. So these, that is 6 or 7 by Sudoku. And that's a 6, 7 pair. So this is 2 or 9. Both of those are of course fine as pairs on this little 2 neighbouring line. 5, 3, 8, 4, 1. There is a 7 in one of those two. Well, it can't be here anymore. Okay, that does, finally the 2 line does something for me. It makes this a 7 because the 7 can't be here. That is quite nice. 7 there, 6 there. It's nice if the 2 line actually does something because you're not expecting that. 8, 1, 6. So these are from 3, 7, 9. But they can't have a 7 in because that's 7 pair there. So that's a 7. This is a 3, 9 pair. 4, 3, 9, 6, 7. That can't be 9. This is 1 or 2. 3, 8, 5, 7, 2. So here, this isn't allowed to be 6. And there's a 6 in one of those. So we place 6 in the box. And the 2 line is doing its job again. And that must be 4 now, by Sudoku again. And this is 1 or 9. My goodness. Right, 6. Can't touch 5. The 2 line is one of the more active lines, incredibly, in terms of, well, at this stage of the puzzle, let's be fair. But it's suddenly doing a lot more than I expected it would at any stage, which is brilliant. 6, 8, 3, 7, 5. One of those is a 2. These are from 1, 4, 9. Well, again, the 2 line to the 4, or rather, more specifically, not to the 4. And that 7 has made this a 9, and suddenly the 2 line is finished. Absolutely out of the blue. Honestly, these jokes just come to me. I'm not just some dad who's prepared them. Now, 9 and 2 there. One of those is a 4. I know which one by Sudoku. How can I, no, yeah, okay, take that down to the 6, 4, take that up to the 7, 6, the 9 makes that a 2, that finishes box 2. I really think we're going to finish this now. There were moments when I was doubting it or my sanity earlier. 1, 8, this is a 3, 6 pair. Right, what's going on down in this box? 1, 8, 3, 2, 9. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 to fit in here. 5 is a known quantity now. Then we can place 4. That does this 6, 4 pair, and indeed 6, 7 can be done there. That fixes 3, 6. That fixes 3, 9. That fixes 2, 9. Let's just get rid of the colouring. Did its job ages ago. What an intriguing puzzle that is. And it is criminal that that's only been solved by 79 people, though to be fair, I think it's quite hard. I know I sort of faffed around. I didn't get that that was a 1, 2, 8, 9 quad for too long, but sorting out these was very, very difficult. You really had to visualize quite a lot of stuff. I don't know that synesthesia would have helped, but a slightly more logical approach would, and that's great fun. Thanks so much, Pie Guy, and for mentioning the puzzle to us. I'm delighted to have done that. I hope others have done it too now. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you again next time. Bye for now.